Hey everyone, this is my laptop running the newly installed Windows 8, and you're watching the OS. So hey everyone, today was Windows Phone Day, and Microsoft finally got up on stage and announced all the consumer features of Windows Phone 8, and I'm actually pretty excited to talk to you about them today. The first thing is something that Microsoft is calling live apps. Now, we have live tiles in the OS, that's the signature, but live apps are something completely different. They allow apps to actually communicate with the lock screen. So you get really cool things like being able to display Facebook photos on your lock screen via Facebook. And you can do this with a whole bunch of apps. It's a really interesting thing since we can't set wallpapers for the background, but we have these kind of live lock screens now where you can set up Facebook, for example, to rotate through your photos, ESPN for sports scores, and I thought that was actually really cool. So that's one of the tentpole features, if you will, of Windows Phone 8. Also, Microsoft announced that there are over 120,000 apps in the Windows Phone store. It's really cool to hear. And they also talked about some new applications that are going to be coming to the App Store. We have Pandora. Pandora is finally coming to the Windows Phone 8 platform. And for those sporting new Windows Phone 8 devices, you get a free year of Pandora, no ads. That's also really cool to hear. Some other apps that will be making their debut on the platform are things like Urban Spoon and Temple Run, a really popular game on iOS and Android that's finally coming to the Windows Phone 8 platform. Microsoft promises that we will have 46 of the top 50 apps on other platforms. So one of the things they touched on was Kids Corner, which is pretty much like a pseudo guest account for your Windows Phone. Supposed to be used so that if you have kids, they have a separate place on the phone to use apps and services that you specify for kids. But it's also really great if you're one of those people who always gives your phone to other people. They don't have to touch any of your stuff. You can set a little area that strangers or your friends can go on your phone. So that was something else they touched on. Another thing was something called Data Sense, and this is built into the heart of Windows Phone 8. It pretty much allows your phone to do all the work for you to actually get more out of your phone by using less data. And it does all its compression on the phone and up in the cloud. And you can actually go into Data Sense and actually look at what apps and services on your phone are using the most data. Another feature they touched on was something called Rooms. This kind of expands on the group functionality that's already in Windows Phone, but it's called Rooms. I mean, it's like groups, but it's kind of to a whole new level. You can create these rooms where you can share stuff up with families, calendar appointments. It's very specific. And Windows Phone 8 already comes with one called Family that you can put your family in, so you can share stuff that's only specific to your family. That was actually really cool too, because I'm a huge proponent of groups and I know I'll be using Rooms. Also, they talked about the new Skype app. It's been built from the ground up for Windows Phone 8. Voice over IP services in Windows Phone 8 will kind of always be running. They just kind of run in the background. They're treated like normal phone calls. And like I said, Skype will always be running in the background, so you'll be always able to take IMs or a phone call like you would normally. It doesn't take up any additional battery life. The Windows Phone 8 SDK will be released in full tomorrow, so if you're a Windows Phone or a future Windows Phone 8 developer, you can get your hands on that starting tomorrow. The last thing that they did was announce carrier availability, well, as much carrier availability as they could. The Windows Phone 8 rollout is going to be starting as early as the end of this week, and rollout is going to continue all through November. Verizon is getting the HTC 8X. They're also getting the Nokia Lumia 822. They're also getting another device coming in December from Samsung called the Samsung Odyssey. I don't know if that's a CDMA version of the Ativ S, but that's coming in December. The 822 and the 8X is what Verizon's getting. AT&T is getting the Nokia Lumia 920. They're also getting the 820, and they're also getting the 8X. So all three of those devices will be rolling out in November. Last but not least, T-Mobile is getting the 810 and also getting the 8X. That is the spread of Windows Phone 8 devices for all three carriers. Sprint is sitting this one out, and I think they're making a really big mistake by sitting out, but I guess it's really their loss. But that was the Windows Phone 8 event. What do you think? What do you think about Windows Phone 8? Will you be getting a Windows Phone 8 device? Are you getting a Windows 8 device? Is there anything that they didn't announce at the event that you kind of wanted to hear about? I would love to hear your comments. Down in the description, you'll be able to check out all the links on TechnoCove to all of my Windows Phone 8 coverage. Keep it tuned to the OS for more videos as they come out. But this was Aaron, and I will see you next week.